Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend, the Big Aniki, Chad Marco. Make sure you attack the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's chop it up, man. So, for this video, I got my fingers crossed that I don't get in trouble with YouTube for this topic. But you know, everything that I say is just it's from the heart, because this is just something that I've been noticing in recent times, and it's kind of disturbing to me. But why is white replacement celebrated? And so let me start off by just talking about this real quick. Do you guys remember when Black Panther came out, the big Marvel movie, right? And you know, in Black Panther, the main character is from Africa. It's a black Marvel superhero, and he's from this country called Wakanda. Now, Wakanda is a secretive, isolated, hidden country, predominantly populated by Africans or blacks, if not all blacks, right? And so everything from top to bottom is all black. And I remember when Black Panther came out, black people were obviously very excited about it. Like, oh, this is us. We got one. Right? We got our guy now. We're not just piggybacking off of like the Spider-Man multiverse, right? We got our own. This is us. And one thing that stands out to me now is that we love the concept of a Wakanda, of an all black governed, black ass country. Right? But look, a powerful, wealthy, isolated, prosperous black country that was not involved for the most part with the rest of the world. Now, I'm not some big Black Panther fan, so I don't know how the story evolves from there. Maybe they switch gears or something. I don't know, but I just remember that particular aspect. How as black people, we love the concept of a Wakanda, a black, powerful, prosperous country. So why do I bring that up? Now remember, the topic is, why is white replacement celebrated? One thing that I've noticed in modern times is that we have these concepts now, these beliefs, these ideas, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, like diversity is our strength. Oh God. Diversity is our strength. And you see a lot of promotion and embracing of multiculturalism. But the thing that stands out to me is that it seems like these things are the most heavily promoted in predominantly white countries. You look at places like America as a prime example. Right now, we have the borders are just wide the fuck open. And you have millions of illegal immigrants just coming in. But you know, this isn't necessarily a completely new thing either, though. You know, people often say, you know, America was built by immigrants, and you know, there's a lot of truth to that. Immigration isn't anything new. It wasn't the way it is now. But you know, America has always opened its doors to different races to come in and contribute and things of that nature. So it's not like this is something that's new. But then you also see this in places like Canada right now. They've been importing a lot of Indian migrants. A lot of European countries have been welcoming in a lot of like Middle Easterners, Muslims, and things of that nature. But I feel like now it's going to a whole different level of extreme that's even making me as a black man uncomfortable. And it's like, for example, when I look at when Obama became president in America, as a black man, as a black person, that made me feel good. Even though I've never really been that much into politics and government policies and shit like that. Cause I was like, what? I was like a teenager when he became president. Like I forgot exactly how old, but anywhere from like 16 to 19 or something like that when Obama became president. But all I knew was like, yeah, like we got one, we got one in. And at the time, again, it felt right. But now I look back and I see it kind of differently. You know, and maybe people won't understand what I mean when I say this, but now I kind of see that attitude as being kind of toxic. And what I'm saying is that when you have multiple races sharing multiple cultures and races sharing a country together, and then somebody of your skin color, of your race, of your religion comes and gains power, and you feel excited about that. Why do you feel excited about that? Because you feel as if you're going to get some sort of advantage. You feel like life is going to get better for you. But then it's like, now I see things where it's like, okay, that may be true, but at what expense? If your race, if your culture, if your religion is gaining power in this country, what about the other races? What about the other religions? What about the other cultures? And so it's like, when you look at multi cultural countries, I feel like there's like this underlying conflict or tension between us, even though for the most part, we seemingly seem to get along. When I see certain things now, it makes me uncomfortable, you know? And it's like, for instance, I don't know the guy's name. I think it's in Britain, right? They have I think he's of Indian descent. They have an Indian prime minister. Now, it's like, now historically, Britain was a predominantly white country, but now they have a Indian at the highest level of government. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is, why is this celebrated? Because when things like this happen, we see this as progress. When Obama became president, remember the slogans changed. It was we're moving forward in a better direction. But why is white people losing power, losing influence, losing control? Why is that a good thing? And the reason why the reasons I can kind of come up with is kind of two-pointed, right? One, I look at obviously white people's involvement in slavery. And I think that's something that has followed them throughout the years. And really in a lot of ways, I think unfairly, because the truth is there's not one person alive today who had anything to do with slavery, the slavery that we're talking about. And not only that, damn near every other race participated in slavery as well, but we don't hold it against them the way we hold it against white people. You know, the things I've heard about the Muslims and what they did to African slaves and the castrations and made white people look like angels, but we never talk about that. But I digress. Another thing too, I think it goes back to Nazism and Nazi Germany and Hitler. And because, you know, a big thing with Nazi Germany was Aryan pride, you know, not really wanting a racially diverse country. You know, they wanted Germany to be all blue-eyed, blonde hair, white, you know, all white everything, right? And I think it's fair to say that Nazi Germany is kind of propped up as being like the big bad guys of the last 100 years or so. And I think in a way, the combination of these different things have sort of created this narrative, whether people say it out loud or not, that white people are like the designated bad guys of the world. Which, even as I say that, it sounds insane. But I don't think I'm really far from the truth as far as like these narratives that fly around. Because why do we see it as progress when as predominantly white countries become less white? I mean, this doesn't just have to do with the leaders. This is just about different races getting into office, becoming prime minister or president or making it to the Senate, whatever the governmental structure that happens to be in place, this is about overall demographics as well.
White. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. The Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every Prison Governor, white. And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white.
When you look at America, you can find articles talking about, oh, look at how Texas is no longer predominantly white, and the percentage of white people is dwindling down, and white people are being replaced, and white people, and it's like these things are said unironically. These things are said as if it's something that's good, as if it's something to be celebrated. And I find it to be incredibly toxic. And it's crazy that people don't really see it that way. Because, and I always say, man, one of the easiest way to see how, like, when shit is fucked up, just flip it, right? Now, this is why I brought up Wakanda. Now, black, anybody that's black, roll with me on this one, right? Now, imagine we got Wakanda. We it's all black, it's black, right? Every shade of black. Just imagine that, right? Now imagine people then start saying, you know what? We need progress. You need a white king. You need a white queen. You need to let white people start coming in by the hundreds of thousands and millions. Wouldn't you feel somewhat threatened? Just be real. You got this great, powerful, prosperous, isolated country that's relatively peaceful. I guess, again, I'm not a Black Panther aficionado here. I'm just saying, using it as an example. Wouldn't you feel somewhat uncomfortable with somebody bringing that to the table on you? Saying that you need to open your borders and let in these other cultures and let in these other races and things like that. And another thing that I look at too is when you have other cultures coming in to these predominantly white countries, I look at it and I say, okay, it seems to work one way, but would it work the other way? And what I mean is, you see a lot of Muslims, right, coming from predominantly Muslim Middle Eastern countries into predominantly white countries. And they bring their cultures, they bring their religion, they bring whatever, right? And oftentimes it seems like they're able to fit in for the most part, fine. But what if white people or just people from those countries try to do the same thing? Could we go to Middle Eastern countries and bring our culture and bring our ideas and our religion? Would it be accepted by them, right? And so what I'm saying is, just for example, in America, girls don't have to wear hijabs, girls don't have to be covered up and things like that. So if we say, look, we should be able to go to the Middle East and go to their countries, and our women don't have to wear the hijabs. Our women can walk around big booty shorts, take, crop tops. Can we bring that over there? Can we bring our music? Can we bring our religion? Can we bring our media? You know the answer to that. Overwhelmingly, that's going to be a big fat no. And so one thing that I'm starting to realize about multiculturalism is that it only works to a certain extent. Because I think that multiculturalism it can work, but it has to be in a place where one culture is willing to accommodate another. And I think in a strange way, white people have evolved or devolved, depending on how you look at it, into a culture of accommodating other cultures as opposed to standing on their own, you know. And another thing that I find so disturbing about this is, you know, as a black man, I can say I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black is beautiful. My black queens, and I'm a king. We can, and Mexicans can do it. Like every other race, but when white people do it, it's almost like it's seen as racism by default for a white person to take pride in who they are and their skin color and their heritage. Because as much as we want to act like white people were just slavers and conquerors, you know, they have a just as much of a rich history with things to be proud of and things not to be so proud of, just like every other race. We all got skeletons in the closet and we all have achieved and done great things, right? But I just find it disturbing, though, that white people have been backed into this corner.
Which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. And we will not go away silently. We will not be silent.
Where they can't even really express pride in who they are and in their culture, and without being seen as being racist. And even I'll go the extra step. If a white person says, why can't we have a white country? Oh, now you really in trouble, right? But I'm just asking, because as a black man, like, just think about this. As a black man, right? I'm black. If I say I don't feel safe in America, I'm afraid of police brutality, I want to move to Africa, I want to be around my brothers, I want to move to a black country like Africa, Haiti, Jamaica, I want to go to the motherland where it's all black. I'm not going to be shamed for that. I'm not going to be attacked for that. No one's going to call me a racist for that. But if I'm white and I say the same thing, I want to move to a white country. I feel safer in an all white country. I don't want to live in a multi, right? And so, look, I'm not trying to start shit. I'm just saying, look, fair is fair. Why can we say this, but they can't? Explain that to me. That's what I just don't understand. Because I just don't think it's fair, again, to back white people into this corner where they can't practice racial pride the way that other races can. I don't think it's fair to say that, you know, white people can't say that they want to have their country where they're prosperous and powerful and in control. And this whole topic is a strange one, though. And you know, I kind of hesitated to dive into this because it's so easy for people to take shit the wrong. It's a very sensitive topic. But I can't hold my tongue on this because I see it so much, and it's like I said, it's kind of disturbing to me when I look at things like this now, where it's just like it just seems to be this unfairness about the whole thing, about how it just seems to me that white people are expected to just roll over and to just be the accommodating race and culture of the world, where they can't stand or hold on or cling to anything for themselves the way that other races can. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. To me, it's toxic, and I think it's an example of something that maybe started within reason, but then has gone to such an extreme to where it's no longer reasonable anymore. It's crossed over to the point where I think white people are in this zone where any attempt to practice self-preservation or express even self-pride is going to be met with contempt by mainstream society, even in countries where they were once in control, even in countries where they are the majority in terms of racial demographics. But whew, that's all I have to say about that topic. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope YouTube won't kick me off the platform for this conversation. I will see you guys later. Johnny.